Hey guys, it's Nichole Eaton with the Rock Your Soul book and podcast. I'm so excited to help you master your mind, shift your perspective, and take your life to the next level. Are you ready? The following are chapters from my book, Rock Your Soul, The Down-to-Earth Guide to Mastering Your Mind, now available on Amazon and at NicholeEaton.com. Introduction. I didn't see you there. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you, if you allow it. Leon Brown. I was asked to write a book. I'm kidding, I wasn't. But I thought it would sound way cooler if someone had approached me like, hey, Nichole, we'd love if you wrote this book. I guess in some ways I have been asked, just not by anything human. There's always been a certainty in my heart that I was born to write. So if you hate this book, don't tell me. Anyway, welcome. Glad you can make it. I'd shake your hand, but you're there and I'm here and, well, my palms are sweatier than rap star Eminem. Did you know that nervousness and excitement have nearly identical physiological feelings? So I will take that sweaty palms, heart-racing sensation that some might call raging anxiety and label it excitement. Excitement feels better than anxiety. Woohoo! I can barely contain my excitement in sharing all of this juicy, delicious information with you. I truly believe the information tucked between these pages has the capacity to change your life and the way you look at the world. But before we start, there are a few things you should know about me. I have an obsession with the human condition and a total fascination with how the brain works. I truly believe your thoughts are the most powerful agent for change. Lastly, I love to bake made-from-scratch cupcakes. Okay, so the last one's a little irrelevant, but you wouldn't say that if you tasted my bourbon chocolate cupcakes with salted caramel frosting. As a mental health counselor and life coach for the last 10 plus years, I have had the absolute pleasure of working with people from all walks of life. Clients gifted me the experience of holding their hand while facing some real gruesome shit. I've also felt honored by complete strangers trusting me to join their journey. Life can be effing scary. We can face some very real fears as well as fears we only imagine in our heads. The good news? Most of our worries, doubts, lack of boundaries, and other junk keeping us from living a happier, healthier life are exactly that, made up. Life primarily exists in our perception in our mind. Can you imagine how messy that territory gets after years and years of storing thousands of experiences? The memory of when your first boyfriend broke up with you is stored right next to the time you had a few too many margaritas celebrating your acceptance into grad school. All of those mixed feelings, relationships, and experiences are jumbled up in your memory bank. Perhaps you're wondering, how do we keep it all straight? The truth? We don't. Researchers have found that there's no particular accuracy in our thoughts or interpretations of the meaning of events. Envision a time when you waved back to someone who was actually not waving to you, but the person behind you. Our memories are not necessarily real or fact-based either. We skew and mold memories and experiences to fit our beliefs and perceptions about the world. Mind blown. I like to think that I have a great grip on the way my mind works, but sometimes my brain still ventures off into curious spaces. Like when I end up lying in bed at night recalling that time my 6th grade boyfriend dumped me after telling me I had a mustache. Screw you, Josh. What I hope you realize is your little inaccurate brain is wicked powerful in manhandling how you experience your life. This book will give you both understanding and tools to put some reins on the wild horse that is your head. All the knowledge between these pages will help you trade out the fear-based baloney that you've been repeating for years on end for an upgraded model. Spam, perhaps? What is an upgrade from baloney? Anyone? Because the truth is, as easily as we can create a scary, dark, perceptual world that makes you want to dig a ditch and stay there, we can instead choose to create a way of thinking about the world that makes you feel all unicorns and rainbows. Or at least happier if unicorns and rainbows aren't your jam. Choosing better thoughts and a new perception, intentionally facing fears and redirecting your focus back to your hopes and dreams is the magical recipe for creating a life to be geeked about. And who doesn't want to be geeked? Do people still say geeked? Did anyone ever say geeked? I sometimes fail to tell people why I'm so passionate about how the brain works, so here it is. I learned the badass power of the human brain when I was around 14. Picture me, braced up, cornrowed, and gangly. Yes, cornrows. My sister was hospitalized out of town for an eating disorder. My parents would spend every weekend visiting her, and due to my school and my grandmother's napping schedule, I was left to my own devices. My freedom quickly turned into serious issue with terrible choices and depression. I've seen the dark alleyways of my soul. I've sat through sleepless nights ruminating on situations out of my control. Through research and a dab of therapy, I was able to understand that our brain is nothing more than an automated machine that we sometimes have to intentionally reprogram. By gaining mindfulness of what's going on in your head, you can truly upgrade your life. If this information can pull me out of depression, I'm convinced that by sharing all the brain hacks, you too can face whatever you're up against. This book is not for you if you don't give a shit about how your brain works and have no interest in changing your life. It's not for you if you can't handle my simple approach, questionable sense of humor, and inappropriate analogies. So, if those conditions do not apply, I'm here for you. I'll hold your hand if you've dealt with a lot of negative thoughts, anxiety, or depression. I'm on your team if you're trying to better yourself by learning to tap into your full potential. I'm here and will be your ride or die if you picked up this book because you're striving to be successful in business, relationships, or other areas of your life. And well, if you're just here because you're bored or curious, I welcome you still. Let me feed your curiosity with fun facts and ideas. I want to show you your power. Are you ready? If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Chapter 1. Why? My kids regularly ask to partake in activities like riding their bikes off stairs or building a fort in the neighbor's pricker bushes. These are real examples. And of course, my motherly answer is always, are you crazy? No. My 9-year-old, who could have had OJ convicted with her impressive logical arguments, counters, but why? Which drives me nuts. Like, what, kid? It's not self-explanatory that I don't want to be tweezing prickers out of your ass for the next 24 hours? And although it drives me batty, why is a super important question. My explanation assists her in managing future discernment for similar experiences. Or it will provide her for a reason to attend therapy when she has a quarter-life crisis. Either way. Your why is what drives you. It's what keeps you moving in the right direction. A strong why helps you make better choices to live your best life. Before this becomes another self-help book that you skim through then throw on your shelf to collect dust only to sell in a rummage sale for 50 cents in 2 years, I'm on to you. I want you to establish a sound reason for why you're reading this book and why you're ready to make changes. Why are you sick of the way life has been going? Why are you over the thoughts that have been on repeat in your head? Why are you ready for an upgrade? What I'm about to say is harsh. Forgive me. There's no easy way to say this, but you and everyone you know will be dead soon. I know, I'm a bringer of light. Maybe 90 years from now, or maybe tonight when you fall asleep. If you knew you were going to croak in approximately 4 hours, you'd be a lot less worried about Susan in HR, or how much of a jerk the guy is who didn't shovel his sidewalk. You wouldn't be sweating about your bills being late. Death is a nice reminder that most of the stuff we obsess over and stress over is pure crap. If no other reason for a change exists, let your why be that you don't know how long you have here on Earth, and you're ready to stop wasting your time. Maybe that's morbid, but it's a bit of reality I want to spring into your pretty little face. You don't want to be dragging your life around for the next 50 years feeling like you'd rather be anywhere else when you actually could be somewhere else. It's possible to experience true happiness. You can have your dream job or dream man or dream house on your own island with piles of money protected by 2 English mastiffs and a housekeeper named Frankfurt who wears a tux at all time and brings you the finest mimosas and those little glass flutes with your name inscribed on them first thing every morning. I might have thought this through. Remember, that you have all the power you need in your brain, body, and soul to make whatever changes you desire. You are responsible for your own life. Perhaps your why is simple. You deserve more than the life you've been settling for. You are an extension of the universe. The energy that creates worlds is inside of you, my friend. Embrace your power. Maybe your why is because you don't want to feel like crap, be part of something that no longer brings you joy, or be a miserable human 5 years from now. Perchance, if you fail to create change, misery is exactly what is going to happen. Maybe your why is you wouldn't want this life for your kiddos. I'm sure if you caught them settling, you would kick their butt straight into next week. So, why allow a less than stellar life for yourself? Establishing a sound why keeps you driving forward, taking risks, and pushing past obstacles that block your joy. Because there will be obstacles. Maybe disguised as those little mushroom people from Super Mario Brothers. Your why will be handy on those tough days when you'd rather feed your body to an angry group of sharks than get out of bed. For the days where you want to hide in the back of your closet, tucked in the fetal position with a fistful of chocolate. There will be days like that. Although this book is designed to help you reduce the number of bad days, your why helps you push through subconscious patterns, taking the more challenging route to create change rather than falling back into a familiar one. Defining your why creates purpose. How do you want to measure your life? Probably not in how many episodes of Orange is the New Black you binge watched. Write it down. Tape it to your ceiling. Leave a reminder on your cell phone. Remember every single day why you need to make changes in your world to fast track you into your best self. Chapter 2. Excuses. Now that you've created your why and determined the real reason you want to make changes, your brain is going to go into overdrive mode with excuses. Excuses are when you're trying to lose weight and your brain says, yeah, I'm too busy to meal prep and grocery shop. I'll snack on this cupcake. And maybe this Boston cream donut. Yeah, definitely this donut. Excuses are notoriously packed with I can't, I'm too blank for that. Insert young, old, overweight, underweight, rich, scared, poor, etc. Let's grab a salted caramel mocha and chat about how to get around these little buggers. First things first, I'm asking you to take full responsibility for every part of your life, even the crappy parts. I could sit here and say, well, I am the way I am because of my parents, or because I'm in a bad relationship, or I hate my job, my boss is a misogynistic dickwad, I loathe being a stay-at-home mom. I could name 1,020 reasons why I'd rather swim from Cuba than walk another day in my own shoes. But the very serious memo that I have for you is, dudes and dudettes, as you are a badass author Jen Sincero says, it's not your fault if you're fucked up. It's your fault if you stay fucked up. Amen, sister. Look, you can't control whether you had a shitty childhood or if you married a guy who turned into Hitler a year later. You can't control if you lost a limb in a tragic accident or if you were diagnosed with a debilitating disease. You can't go back and rework any aspect of the past. But you have every power in your awesome body to make changes starting right now. If life isn't unicorns and rainbows for you and hasn't been for a while, if you find yourself lifelessly dragging your carcass from your kid's soccer game to yoga practice, let's face it, you need to ditch the excuses, put the reins back in your hands, and spice up your life. Or listen to Spice Girls. Probably the first option mixed with a dash of the second option. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. My biggest excuse for not being more successful or not becoming the author I always dreamed I would be was that I became pregnant when I was 20 years old. Having children young takes a lot of focus away from your future. Not to mention, I had little in terms of support. Plenty of people in my immediate environment, including professors and family members, practically begged me to drop out of college. I didn't. I often envision my life without kids. What? We're being so honest right now. I saw myself being so much more successful than I am in my current situation. Single, non-mom me would have been a doctor. A doctor of psychology, not one who hangs out with people with weird rashes. Ugh. This book would have been finished minimum 6 years ago. Non-mom me could have even discovered something amazing studying humans in a village in Uganda. But alas, I didn't apply to do more schooling because the cost of daycare was destroying every ounce of my soul and bank account. It's not like you can go off to work or school and leave your kids under a bridge somewhere. There, honey, you hang out under this bridge and there might be some fish in that creek over there if you get hungry. Well, off to work. Life doesn't work like that. Here's the reality of the situation. Having children has gifted me with many skills and personality traits that I simply didn't possess beforehand. Motherhood has forced me to be more organized, improving my time management skills. I swear I can get more done in 1 hour than most people do in a week. Being a mom has made me more compassionate, loving, and understanding of other people. I'm constantly bettering myself and driving my ambition to show my girls the art of working hard and following your dreams. Plus, my kids are so freaking cool. If I didn't have kids, I'd create a different excuse. I used to work 3 jobs before becoming a parent, plus do extra activities like theater productions and an impressive amount of tanning. I never thought I had time to do anything like laundry or chasing down my goals. I now know that pre-kid me, that whiny little princess, could have done anything with her spare time. Mom me found out the hard way. When you're keeping humans alive, time is a precious commodity. Excuses keep us comfortable. We make excuses because we're afraid or because we truly need better life management and organization skills. Ask yourself, what's your excuse? Why haven't you left that job or situation? Why don't you have more fun with your life? Where in your life are you lying to yourself? The truth is, we pretend we can't do things when in reality, we have endless possibilities. These potentialities may be challenging. They may force you to get creative, but there are always multiple options available. Don't block yourself in with the whole "it's not possible" thing. The infallibility is that you can start a business or find your dream job. A healthier relationship is possible. Your bank account can be less terrifying. You don't have to swipe and pray. Maybe you're scared it will be too much work or that upgrading isn't possible for you. Perhaps you're terrified that it won't be what you want or will be a mistake in the long run. Are you nervous that change will be difficult or uncomfortable and you won't be able to handle it? Real change can happen the minute you acknowledge fear is the piece stopping you, not the impossibility. We can work with fear, so ditch your excuses at the door. You're the only one responsible for your happiness. No one's going to walk in and create your dream life for you. The first time I realized I was blocking myself with excuses was when I read one of Daniel Laporte's books. The aha moment wasn't even necessarily from the content of the book, but previously I admired success of people who didn't have kids. I figured of course they had time to write books. They didn't have to cut fingernails and wake up at 5 a.m. with someone breathing over them demanding they play Barbies. But Danielle was different. She had a child, she knew, she got it, and she busted her ass to get her book out into the world self-published and all. Her example wrecked my excuse. I recognized I wasn't creating time to write my own book because maybe being an author just wasn't that important to me. Gasp. But I had dreamt about writing my own book series since I was a little girl. Yeah, I wasn't willing to work for the feeling of holding my own book in my hands. I wasn't willing to wake up and go to sleep writing. I only wrote when I felt inspired and had a couple minutes to jot down my thoughts. I never made time to pursue my passions. Look for examples of people who have similar situations as you, but who are totally crushing it. You will make time for the things that you deem important. If you aren't making time for what you love or what you want, ask yourself why not? What happens if you begin to follow your dreams? Do you feel guilty or worried about what people will think? If you want to begin assessing what you truly value, check your bank account and your calendar. Where do you spend your time and where do you spend your money? Considering time and money are a form of energy, exploring where and how you use this energy can help you keep tabs on your priorities and where you might be wasting your energy. The direction of your energy drives your life. Many of us are so accustomed to saying phrases like, "I don't have time," or "I'm too busy," to the point we really believe it. You have as many hours in the day as Beyonce. How much time did you spend sitting on the couch or scrolling through social media today? How much time did you waste on Netflix this weekend? Make time for the activities, goals, and dreams that are most important to you. Thank you so much for listening to the Rock Your Soul book and podcast. Make sure to catch future chapters in the upcoming weeks. Take a moment to book a one-on-one personalized soul therapy session with me or catch a live event by visiting www.nicholeeaton.com or follow me on Instagram at nicholeeaton.xo. Thank you.